Hello, my rockin' rats. Welcome to another episode. Post-vacay life, huh? I just want to start off by saying that Matthew does apologize to the women in the arts, aka me, for looking so traumatized in the last episode. He's just simply not used to the fame. I don't know. Maybe he'll get it one day. But one rant about vacation, and then I'm going to move into not ranting about it. But I know in the last episode, we were filming on like our last day at sea, which was supposed to be our day in Bimini. And upon further discussion with fellow cruisers and even the staff, we found out that this cruise ship rarely makes it to Bimini because it's just like always so rough. It's like the conditions have to essentially be perfect to make it into this port, and like they never are. So how freaking rude. Like if you know that like 75% of the time you don't make it to this port, pick another one. I mean, I'm sure it's because like Bimini is such a small island that it's probably like cheap to port there for the day. But like, well, I just don't understand. So yeah, that's my rant about that. Celebrity, get it together. Offer a different Bahama island. Like, I don't know. Offer something else, because another day at sea where you're not offering anything, it's just rude. It's rude. I know there's a fine line in the documents, but still, I find it really rude. Oh, little dog here on the mic. Always had the dogs with me. So I am thankful though that I'm super type A, and like when we were planning the trip and everything, I opted to go with like a cruise that was Monday through Friday, or like really like Monday through Thursday, like you get back Friday and then like fly home or whatever, because we had the weekend to recuperate and like wash laundry and I don't know, like everything, versus like, you know, when you go on vacation and like you come home on Sunday and then immediately Monday you have to return to work, and it's just like, who allowed this? Oh wait, I did this to myself. So very happy that I didn't do that to us, because it was really nice to have 2 days to, I wouldn't even say like we did nothing. Obviously, like I did a bunch of laundry, like cleaned, we ran errands and stuff like that. So that was nice. However, being on the cruise and being in such nice weather has given me this like supreme urge for it need to be like summer ASAP, which I mean, it's Florida, so it kind of already is feeling that way, other than the fact that like it still is like semi-cold some days. You know, it just can't figure out what it wants to do, because that's life. That's Florida. Let's see. Our back deck is finally poured. So I feel like my war zone of a backyard is slowly not becoming a war zone anymore. Yes. Still so much work to do though. Like we still have to like backfill or whatever. Again, I'm just a girly. I don't know all of the things. Where the formwork was, we're getting more sod laid because it's actually so depressing. The yard, I wouldn't say it was in like perfect condition when we bought the house, because, well, okay, I'll take it back. The yard was in okay condition. The like garden and stuff was not. Because like the previous owner, I guess, like had like True Green come out pretty frequently, but the like yard was nice, and my dogs have just obliterated it because they have no chill and they just like zoom profusely around the yard. So we have a lot of like literal just like dirt pits now that need sod. So we still have that to do. I still have to kind of fix up like the front garden beds. So we've almost lived here now for 2 years, and we bought it from, I think he was like in his 80s. His wife had like passed away, so his kids were making him basically like move back to be with them, because I don't think he could really like live on his own. Sorry. But good for us. Other than the fact that he did not take care of like any of the like landscaping. Like, it's like, okay, cool, you had someone come out and cut the yard and like fertilize it and do whatever, but you couldn't have someone take care of like the front gardens and then like all the like back stuff. So annoying. Granted, like most of the landscaping in the back has been ripped up because of the deck. And also, I think I said it before, I don't understand like why I would want all these bushes and stuff in my backyard anyways. It's my backyard. But when we first moved here, like we ripped out a bunch from the front. And like there were some, I don't know, that like evergreen type trees and stuff that were pretty tall, but they were just so like dead and unmaintained that I just didn't think that we would be able to get them back to what they needed to be. So I was like, let's just rip them out, and I'm gonna like re-landscape the stuff that we rip out. But then of course, like I got pregnant, all, things take precedence. So I was like, all that mattered was just making sure it was like cleaned up. But now I have like a lot of just like dead spots essentially that need to have plants. So I need to do that. So I'm going to be doing that. And I also am going to start like a wildflower garden. I have this little like side patch in the backyard that used to have, again, some like ugly little looking bushes that weren't taken care of. So they looked like shit. So just had Matthew like rip them up when he was ripping everything else up. And I'm going to try a little wildflower garden. I've heard mixed like things about them. Some people say like, oh yeah, like they're cute for a little bit and then it just looks like you have weeds. But the ones that I'm going for are like the annuals. So basically every year you have to redo it anyways. But I'm doing the annuals because they like germinate and bloom faster than the perennials. So I'm like, I'm trying to see, like, I need some reward for my hard work. So I'm going to be doing that too. I'm just trying to be a gardening queen. I've got to also get some more like houseplants. I can't, for some reason, houseplants in me just like, I can't figure it out. I can't figure out where to put them in the house so that they get enough sun. And I thought I would do well once we moved here because, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm yawning so much. Anyways, I thought that we would do well when we moved to this house because like I have an entire sunroom. It's where I'm at actually right now. But sunroom, beautiful, lovely idea. However, in Florida, it's a lot during the summer. So I got like some pretty like bamboo blinds or whatever. But since I put up the bamboo blinds, it obviously like light still comes through because like I still wanted it to have a sunroom vibe, but it's not enough to keep the plants that I did have in here getting the adequate sun that they needed. So basically, I'm looking for a plant that requires pretty much no sunlight. And then here's the other thing about me. And this is why I do good with like outside gardens where I have like my sprinkler system set up on like a timer and it just does what it needs to do because I don't have to worry about it. But when it comes to like houseplants, I'll go like a week and I'll be like, oh my God, I haven't watered this thing. So I'll drown it or whatever. And then there's other times where like I'll be on it and I'll be like watering almost like every other day, drowning it. So I either water too much or then don't water enough. And then by the time I do water it, it's like dead. And it's like, how are you going to get this thing to come back? So I'm trying to get better about houseplants. And then I want to really do like a raised bed, like veggie fruit garden or whatever. I was going to do it last year, but of course, like I was giving birth around the perfect time to do it. And so like, again, now would be the perfect time to do it, but I have way too much going on. So, and everything I'm like reading, if you like start it from seeds, you have to like start it inside. And I'm like, okay, already that is way too much for me. I know you can go like buy it where it's already, I guess, like germinated, and like pretty much you just have to like take it out of essentially like you would a normal plant and then put it in the garden bed. So I may try that. But I don't know, I just like something feels so like I'm better than you by having like a vegetable garden. Like, I got these tomatoes from my own garden. What do you think about that? Oh yeah, I grew those strawberries. Oh, you like the jalapenos? Crazy thing, they came from my garden. Oh, you need some zucchini? I've got some. So I'm really trying to enter that era. I feel like, what do they call, like the trad wives? I feel like that's kind of what they do. Maybe not. Not that I want to be that, but I do think it would be pretty cool. Plus, groceries are expensive, so. But I probably, in the end, would be spending way more money on starting and maintaining this garden versus just buying it from the store. But we're going to let me be delusional in the fact that I would be doing myself a service. So that's what's new with where we're at with my landscaping and stuff. We're running down to the wire because, as I've mentioned before, the way I get things done is by having a party. So my son's first birthday is going to be at my house. Therefore, all of these things need to be done by then. So it will happen. Will we lose our sanity in the process? I think it's already out the window anyway. So what does it matter? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Also, needing some recommendations on a fucking pillow. For the love of God, I cannot tell you how many pillows I've bought. I think at this point, I could have just bought some expensive ass pillow. But in my mind, I was like, I'm not spending $200 on a pillow because why would I do that? But all of the pillows that I bought at this point probably have equated to that much. I should have just bought like an expensive pillow. I've tried one that my friend Sydney sent me, and it's like, I don't know, one of those like weird looking ones that has like a hole for your neck and like places you could put your arms and stuff. That literally made it worse. So much worse. So then when we were on the cruise, and I'm so mad at myself for this, whatever pillows they had, they were definitely like some type of down alternative or like feather type pillow. Never slept better. Never, my neck has never felt so great in my entire life. But did I look to see what kind of pillows they were? No. So I'm really mad about that. But so when we got home, I went to Target and bought like a down alternative because I'm like, that's definitely what those pillows were. So I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of what I need. I need something with a little bit of give, but not too much. And so I was like, okay, the problem in the past that I've had before, like when I've bought like other pillows, like I've had a memory foam pillow, all types of ones, is I get them like firm or extra firm because that's how I also like my mattress, because my back just needs that. Like if I sink into something, back pain times a million. So I was like, okay, let me get medium because clearly firm is maybe not meant for me. Well, the medium was like literally I put my head on it and I just basically sunk to the bed. And I was like, I'm literally going to cry. Returned it. I did get a firm one this time. And it's okay. I'm like not feeling a lot of pay, but I don't know the longevity of it. It was only like $35. So if anyone has like a wonderful pillow recommendation, please let me know. Specifically for someone who like deals with like back and neck pain in general. Shout out fibromyalgia. So I need something that's going to like not put me in more pain, if that's possible. So far this pillow's okay, but I have doubts about its longevity. One thing though that I have down pat when it comes to my pillows is a silk pillowcase. I cannot tell you how when I changed from like the regular cotton pillowcases that come with your sheets to a silk pillowcase, the amount of benefits I got from that, like my skin immediately like was not breaking out as much. My hair was not as frizzy every day. And I'm like, what is this sorcery? And also like it's so nice because the silk is like cool. So I'm also like not getting sweaty. And oh my God, did I just crack the code? That's probably why they're so good for you, is because you're not like sweating and your face isn't sweating. I'm so smart. Personally, I don't know if like the brand matters. I just like bought like a 2-pack off of Amazon like for our bed so that myself and Matthew had one. And he's also a silk pillowcase stan. So try it out. I know that I've seen like TJ Maxx sell them and stuff. So, but I don't think I've seen them sell like king size ones. So check Amazon out. Get you a silk pillowcase. It'll change your life. It's the one thing I have down. And my mattress. I have a wonderful mattress. I love it. I think my bed in general is great. It's just the pillow thing I can't figure out. And I think that, I don't really know. I was going to say, I think because I have a platform bed that's helped me a lot. But thinking back on it, the queen size bed we had before we upgraded to a king had a box spring and it was still a great bed. So I don't really know if that matters or not, but I have heard that if you have like back problems or you want your mattress to be like a little bit more firm, that a platform bed is like the best way to go, because like there's no give to it. Like even with a box spring, there's a little bit of give, and obviously a box spring gets worn out over time too. So who knows? So back to reality, back to going to the gym and stuff like that, because you will not catch me going on vacation or like going on a cruise and being someone who feels the need to go to the gym. I'm sorry. It's vacation for a reason. I'm good. But one thing I am starting to notice is that like I'm very happy how far I've come since like the initial postpartum phase, because I think I've mentioned it before, but I gained like 70 pounds. And I'm pretty sure like the recommended amount that you're supposed to gain is like 30 to 40 pounds or whatever. Simply though, a lot of that was due to me having gestational hypertension. It was just like taking on so much water weight. But yeah, so literally was so unhappy with my body. So I'm getting to a point where I'm like okay with where we're at, but now I'm feeling like I need to like bulk, but I don't want to say I can't eat because I don't have an eating disorder. Don't come for me about that. But obviously like one of my daily medications is Adderall, and those of you who have been on Adderall, or I think like any type of stimulant, would know that like your appetite just goes out the freaking door. So it's really hard to like, I think, eat enough to be able to like bulk. So I'm always like in this kind of like caloric deficit plus working out, which is great because like, yes, though I'm not really worried about working out for the calorie burn more so than like the muscle gain, but I also have to like have the protein to do that. which I probably get about 75% of the amount of protein that I should get in a day, just solely because of like my protein shakes that I drink in the morning. And sometimes I'll even have two because I just simply will be like, oh, it's 2 p.m. and I've just been like working and I forgot to get up to go eat lunch. Like, let me just go grab a protein shake. And then like dinner. I'm good about eating dinner for sure. So I'm probably getting about 75% of the protein I need to get, but I need to find ways to, I don't know, like bulk. I don't even want to say bulk because I'm like not trying to have some like crazy ass diet where I'm eating over 2,000 calories a day. That's just simply not possible because I have always eaten like a bird. Like I could tell you like, oh my God, I'm starving. And then we sit down and I maybe take like 5 to 10 bites of my food. And then I'm like, okay. And then like 2 hours later though, I'm like, all right, who's ready for a little snack? Which I guess is good for your metabolism because small portions throughout the day or whatever, but that's not really what I'm trying to accomplish right now. And I have a hard time with protein stuff because I think protein in general just like it's like has like a chalky taste almost. That's why I love the protein shakes I drink, like the Fairlife chocolate ones, because they don't taste gross. Oh my God. I'm not even that tired. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm sorry, you guys. So I don't really know how else to get like more protein into my day without like trying to make like full meals and like meal prepping. And I used to be good about meal prepping, but it gets old after a while because it's like I'm not trying to eat the same thing that often. Like I will get so burnt out. And then it's also like, again, for me, because I'm like able to kind of make my schedule and schedule when my sessions and things like that are going to be, I usually just like to slam my stuff because I'm like, I'm here. I'm, you know, like I'm working from home. I'm here. So why not just like get it all out of the way? And then that be that. So the odds of me like taking a lunch break are pretty slim. So I usually will forget, or by the time I'm remembering, I'm like, oh crap, I have a meeting. Like I'm not trying to eat like a full meal in my meeting. So I'll just eat like a granola bar or something because every protein bar I've ever had, I think tastes absolutely fucking trash. So any recommendations on how to somehow eat a little bit more, specifically protein, without it just be me constantly drinking protein shakes? Because I don't think that's like accomplishing anything. Let me know. Okay. I gotta get into Bravo now because I've been saving this. Mainly because I've been like wanting to get Southern Charm and Summer House like really going, their seasons going. So I have commentary. But first of all, how did I get into Bravo? The first, like, I mean, obviously, like, I had always been like, oh, yeah, Real Housewives of this, Real Housewives of that. And, like, if it was on, it was on, but never really paid attention. And, like, I would see all the memes. I'm like, oh, that's funny. But I felt like I never knew where to start because, like, some of these Real Housewives shows have, like, freaking, like, 20 seasons. So I'm like, yo. And for me, I like to start at the beginning of reality TV shows because I'm like, okay, well, I want to know the OG people and like how they've developed over time, or like when did this person come in? Like, I just don't want to start without the backstory because I feel like you miss a lot of that. So Southern Charm is what I first got into, and let me tell you, the first couple seasons of Southern Charm are crazy. Wow. But that kind of got me hooked into Bravo. So then I started just like trying to watch other shows. So then I started watching Summer House. Mainly, I also started watching Summer House because I love Giggly Squad. And I was like, oh, Paige. And then Hannah was on him for a little bit. I was like, I'm watching this. Even though like the first couple seasons, they're not in. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And it's just developed from there. A couple of months ago, got into like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I've always like, if it was on, of course, seen it, and I've always heard about Nene, and I will literally die one day to like see Nene in real life and just have a conversation with her because she's my soulmate. And I lost my train of thought because how many times have I talked about I need to quit sidebarring? Anyways, so yes, basically have developed into like a true Bravo queen. Below Deck, all of that, which Below Deck is probably my least favorite of all of them because I don't like that pretty much every season the crew is changing, except for there were a couple seasons where like the crew was like, there were a few people who were always there, like Kate was always there. And probably unpopular opinion, but I freaking loved her. So, and what was the cook's name? Ben? I think it's Ben. Yeah. So that was like fun when there were the like same main characters, but I don't like having to like get to know new people each time. I'm kind of like, well, this is stupid. So it's probably my least favorite. But yeah. So some comments I have that are, I don't really think they're unpopular opinions because I've definitely been seeing it on TikTok a little bit too. And I'm like, oh, thank God it's not just me. But like, okay, so Southern Charm, I can definitely see why like the cast is still the cast, why there's still all these like old ass men, and they're not really that old, but a lot of them are like either in their 40s or getting close to their 40s. But and I can see why like that's acceptable because there's like Southern Hospitality now, which is like the younger people of Charleston. So great. No qualms about that. But for Summer House, I'm getting just kind of annoyed because I'm like, Kyle is like 44 and your sole purpose is still coming to the Hamptons every weekend in the summer to go partying. I just like don't feel like it's relatable, or not even necessarily relatable because I'm not watching it because I can relate. I'm like watching it because I want to live like vicariously through someone else's life. But I'm like, ew, it's a little cringe. Like I would watch a show if it was like the Summer House characters, but in like their regular lives in like New York City. Would 100% watch that. But like I do love some of the new cast they've added in. Like I love Jesse. I do like West. The new girl Lexi. We'll see. Obviously I love Sierra and Paige. And by no means are they like old. But the other thing is too, this originated as like some show where it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, we're going to the Hamptons every weekend during the summer and we're going to party it up. Well, literally half the time they don't even go out. They just stay home. So I'm like, what is this? Like, unless they're having the little house parties, which I'm sure production makes them have, they're rarely going out. So I'm not really sure. It's just kind of like my interest is waning a little bit on Summer House. I'm like, we need to change it up. And I mean, I like Lindsay a little bit more now. Used to be my most least favorite person. But, and I get it. It's like her source of income at this point. But what are you doing? Like you're on Summer House and you're pregnant. So even if they are going out, you can't go out. Like, I don't get it. I don't feel like the storyline is there for her to really be on the show. And then why in the world did we like Danielle's not supposed to be on here anymore. So why did we let her come back and waste our time for like 1.5 episodes? What? I don't want to see her. She gets on my nerves. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's giving. And even like Southern Charm this season is not really giving because it's like, okay, this stuff with Shep is cringe. I mean, cool. I guess we're finally seeing him like be a normal human being and have feelings and like want to settle down. But it's just kind of cringe. And it's also like, how produced is this? Because there's also some things I've seen on TikTok, like after Sienna went and like did her like multi-part series or whatever, and even like showed messages from her computer, where someone pointed out a couple messages down, there was like a message from production. So it's like, okay, like what? Which I get it. Reality TV is definitely like semi-scripted. Do I think they script everything? No. I don't think they can like actually really script things, but do I think they set up instances where it's like, you all are going to go do this and we want something like this to happen. So then it either naturally happens because that's just the like way that the group is, or it's pretty much set up to be that way. But they're not like telling them, you're going to say this and you're going to say this. Here are your lines. So it just feels very forced this season. I don't feel like anything really interesting is going on. I mean, all the JT stuff, I didn't really like him to begin with, but I just feel like it's like, could you guys not come up with any good content for this season? Like the finale is next, or like this coming week, and it's like, okay, what's it gonna be? Something lame where we're again like wasting our time spending 30 minutes of the hour-long episode talking about JT and what he has said or has not said? Annoying. Just quite frankly annoying. So Bravo's kind of letting me down right now. It's supposed to be my escape. That's okay though, because I have been watching other shows and reading other things. As you guys know, I always have to update you. While on the cruise, of course, every night I couldn't have like the big TV on because our son was in the room with us. So I had my iPad and like I had the Wi-Fi package or whatever. So I would just like stream stuff. Tell me how I stumbled upon, because I also only have like a few video apps on my iPad, because when I bought it several years ago, because I just don't even use it, I got like the like smallest gigabyte you could get. So I can't really have that much on there. So I only have like Prime and like Netflix on there. So I got on Prime and I'm like, oh my God, Legally Blonde. I haven't watched this in a hot minute. Tell me why I was sucked in. Like I'm literally like eyes half closed. And I'm like, no, I have to finish it. This is history right here. But it really is. Don't we just love movies that like I feel like everybody can resonate with, but have so many hidden meanings? Which Matthew and I were also kind of talking about that. Like you don't realize how many like Disney movies have these like hidden meanings. Like I think we had just like the TV on when we were packing to go on the cruise, and like Wally was on, and he was like, how interesting it is that Wally's on and we're about to go on this cruise or whatever. And obviously it's about like trash and like all of the like people being terrible people to the earth. And then like the security guard is like fat as fuck and ignorant. And it's just like, Disney always has a point. Always has a point. And it has a way to do it in a way that you don't even realize until you're an adult. And you're like, wait, I used to watch that and I didn't ever catch that. So Legally Blonde, watch that. I even started watching like the second one, but I think I wound up actually falling asleep during that one. And then one of the other nights I was like, I'm not really in the mood for that. I started watching the Jeffrey Epstein series again, and it's just crazy, that entire thing. And I can't. I don't understand how that all happened. I mean, I do, because money talks, but like, how can you corrupt that many people within like the FBI, the police department, like the state attorney's office? Like, how? I don't understand. And then I'm not even gonna go super into detail with like his death or whatever, because I felt like the episode would get taken down. But it's just crazy. Like, you're telling me nobody was watching and no, like, mm-mm, that was not something he planned to do on his own. I can tell you that right now. No, he didn't. Mm-mm. Because when you watch the show, I don't even remember who the guy was, but he was like old and ugly and bald at that point. But he was talking about how he took the fall for this like Ponzi scheme that basically like Epstein was helping him create, because like Epstein had basically threatened him with like, oh, well, I know this state attorney or this person and I've done stuff for them. So like, good luck. So I feel like everyone knew he had way too much information and would not feel sorry about giving it away if that let him be free. Which, the fact that if he even did give away enough information to like take other people down, if they would have actually like let him get away, that would have still pissed me off. So I'm like, whatever. So we'll watch that. We've also been watching, obviously, 1923. It came out with a new season. It's so trash. I apologize, Taylor Sheridan, but what the fuck has gotten into you? I feel like every single one of his shows has just tanked. 1883, phenomenal. But you want to know why? One season. Because you only needed one season to tell the story. Great. Moving on. We've gotten the really, really severe backstory. Yellowstone dragged that out. I mean, I don't think they're making any more of it. And then 1923, I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's so slow paced, but then there's cool moments, and it's like, oh, okay, I like this. Or like, oh, this has some good meaning behind it. But it's also like, what are we doing? And we're following way too many people's plot line for it to like give everyone what they need and it go at like a good pace. But of course, I feel like I'm one of those people that's like, once I've like watched the first season of something or like really gotten into something, I can't just like not continue to watch it as they come out with new stuff until it just gets to be like absolutely trash. And then I'm like, all right, we're done here. So I'm continuing on with watching the episodes because I'm like, okay, I need to, but I'm suffering the entire time. So Mayor of Kingstown, obviously we were way behind on like season 3. So I think we have like one more episode and then we're done. I was going to say the same thing about Mayor of Kingstown for this season because season 2, chef's freaking kiss. That was amazing. And then season 3, I was just like, is this what we're getting? You can't be serious right now. But like the last couple episodes have been really, really good. But like in the middle, like Matthew would be watching and I'd just be on my phone and I would have to like rewatch the episodes like another time without him because I just solely stopped paying attention and then I would have no idea what's going on. But it's getting good. So I'm excited to watch the last episode. I don't know, obviously, because I am so out of touch with it because I'm behind. I don't even know if they're planning on coming out with another one, but I don't, depending on what the season finale is, I don't really know if they should, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Know when to end a show. Know when it's time to move on. Just like Prison Break. Can we be so for real? The only good season in Prison Break is the first season. I don't even think I got through the second season because it was so tough. Because it's like every fucking episode was like the same reiteration of, oh my God, we're running. Like, I can't. I literally can't. I'm sorry. So that's where I'm at shows. Actually, no, I started last night watching something else on Netflix because I was like tired, but not tired enough to fall asleep. But I can't remember the name of it. That's obviously telling you how much I care about it. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think it's like Nobody Likes This or Nobody Like Us or something like that. I think I watched the first 2 episodes before I like fell asleep, and I'm like not really sure how I feel about it because I'm like, um, it's not really making much sense right now. Like, okay, cool. She has a terrible like dating history, and he's like a rabbi, and yeah, it's taboo that she's not Jewish, and he obviously needs to be with someone Jewish. I don't know. It's just not what I need. As far as reading, I didn't actually like I brought my Kindle, but did not read at all on the cruise. But I did when we got back. I read. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pull up my little Kindle app to see what it was called. Actually, no, I'll just pull up Fable. It was pretty good. It was like a mafia romance, which was okay. You know, I like my mafia romances, but it just like it started off okay, and then I was like, this is not really what I'm going for at all. Okay, it is His Pretty Little Duet, The Orphean and the Mafia Don by Nikki Harris. I rated it 3 stars just because, again, started off so good. So I guess like originally they were 2 separate books and then like this edition just combined them or whatever. But just, I don't know. Read it if you want, but wasn't really giving me anything. And I haven't started anything else since then. Again, I'm still working on Onyx Storm. Haven't picked it up in a hot minute. So maybe I'll get back into that. But I feel like I really regret getting it in actual book form because I just like to read on my Kindle because I don't have to have my little book light around my like shoulders. I don't have to like hold this book in my hand and my thumbs start aching. Like I can just literally like fall asleep with my Kindle in my hand and it's not a big deal, you know, versus reading a book. If it's something I'm supposed to do like before bed and stuff, it's a little more effort. And that's really the time I have to read is before bed. So, and I've kind of been more into watching TV lately than I have been reading. Weird. I know I go through phases. So, but I am still on track because last year I read like 114 books. Don't know how I did that. Actually, I do know how I did that. Having a child and then like the newborn phase where all they do is sleep, but like he's like sleeping on me or like somewhere where I can't have the TV on, so I'm just reading. So I made my reading goal 100 books this year. My reading goal last year was also 100 books. I'm like, I could do that. So I am on track to meet my reading goal by December because I've read 24 books so far. Go me. So yeah, Onyx Storm, gonna try to finish that. I also I have the first book too. Again, why am I buying books when I know I want to read them on my Kindle? But I got the first book in like the Magnolia Park series because I've heard a lot of great things. So I might get into that because the first book doesn't look very long. So I could probably finish it pretty quickly. So that's where I'm at. So thrilling, I know. Okay. I want to get deep as the last thing I do before we end the episode because I feel like I have somehow gotten myself on the algorithm of really sad shit on TikTok and even on my Instagram. I'm like, okay, can we not? I'm like trying to scroll past it so fast, but then also I'm like, wait, I want to read it really quickly, but I won't like it. But I think because I stay on the video and like don't immediately swipe, then it's like, okay, she might not be liking it, but we're going to present her another one. But I've just seen like a lot of sad stuff. So one of the things was kind of like, if you could essentially like teleport or whatever and like speak to like child you, like a younger version of you, like what would you say? And I was like, damn, that hit me. Because I'm like, oh, little Fallon, which Little Fallon, I got that kind of like analogy from my therapist who I saw for a really long time, who helped me immensely with a lot of trauma work. Love her a lot. We would always be talking about like Little Fallon, because like when I'm triggered or something like that, it's like something that happened to like Little Fallon, or like Little Fallon didn't feel safe. So like sometimes it causes me as Fallon to not feel safe in situations that bring me like back in memories, and kind of like slap me in the face with like, oh my gosh, like this is feeling very like deja vu. So I was like, what would I say to like younger me? And I think what I would say a lot of things, but one of the biggest things I would say is that what happened to you was wrong and you deserved better. Period. End of discussion. And I think that that's something that a lot of people need to be able to say to their younger selves. And I think there's just a lot of truth in, I don't even want to say you have to like journal it out, but like just like deep thinking about like forgiving yourself for things that happened when you were like younger or a child. And like, I don't even think it stops at like, okay, like when you get to high school, like you can't forgive yourself for anything that you did from high school on. Like I was, no, I was, ooh, I can forgive myself for a lot of things in high school and like even college me, because she was not healed. She was not handling things appropriately. So I think that's something that people who have been through a lot, especially like traumatic things, or just maybe have not had an easy life, I think we forget that you should have those conversations about, oh, like this wasn't on me. It was wrong what was happening to me, and I did deserve better. Like there's nothing I could have done as a child who to do anything differently. There's nothing I should have done as a child to make something better or different happen to me. Like that was the adults in my life. Like that was their job to do that for me. And like, it's not my fault that these things happened, but they were wrong and I didn't deserve them. So before I start crying, we're going to end it there. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Feral Thoughts. As always, I'm going to give you my little spiel about following me on my socials. Still got the TikTok, the Insta, the YouTube, and they are all at Feral Thoughts Pod. Go ahead and give me a follow, subscribe. Definitely on like Instagram and TikTok. Actually, it goes on YouTube now too. I do some YouTube shorts for when I put out teasers or just like clips and stuff like that. So I would appreciate the follow. And then if you're also vibing with me, don't forget to follow, subscribe, whatever your platform wants you to do, so that you can be notified when my episodes drop, which is Mondays. And rate me, leave me a little comment, let me know. Until next time, my rats.